What is up, everyone? Hello, I'm Enrique, and this is Easy Things to Draw. Hopefully you guys are having a really great day. I know I am. It's really late at night when I'm recording this. I'm delirious. It's about 3 a.m. right now. But this is a video entirely dedicated to essentially going over drawing and dedicating myself to teaching 2 science fiction style helmets. I'm using a fountain style pen, and I'm going to be putting a number on the top left hand corner of the screen for you to identify which helmet it is, if it's like 1 or 2. I'm going to warn you, this video is long. This is a half-hour essentially demo and how-to. So this half-hour, be aware of it. If you want to skip ahead to the second helmet, you can do that. Just got to look at the top left-hand corner of the screen as you're kind of scrolling around, and it'll have like a number 2 in there. So there's only 1 and 2. Anyways, what I ended up doing before this is I ended up kind of penciling in my vague proportions. And those vague proportions were just random. I didn't think that process was that important. To talk a little bit about the process beforehand, it would be, I was just looking for any interesting shape, but it has to fit in a person's head. So it was really more egg-like. You can even vaguely see it here. Just the way the camera works, a lot of this is just for myself. Trying to wake up a little bit here. This is another video I imported from the Sketch Monster channel, which I am currently merging with this one. I don't know if I'm even going to have a Sketch Monster channel after that, because I might even put digital here, so we'll see what that turns into. Maybe the Sketch Monster channel will turn to a vlog or something. Not really sure what to do with it yet. Alright. You have to understand, I did this drawing a few years ago. So trying to narrate what I'm thinking at the time is a little bit impossible. I know I'm thinking of an armored sort of style. And I'm trying to combine these shapes I see a lot. These kind of wrapping forms I see on top of like how do you say this? On shoulder pads and things like that. I think those are so pretty. Like World of Warcraft. Those type of designs, those round forms, I like it a lot. You know, these kind of fitting together like puzzle pieces. Super a fan of that kind of design. Anytime you design anything, it's essentially an amalgam of things that you have seen before. You just want to try different things of, but you'll see that you can see different influences in your own work, so even if it's unintentional. One of the things I do a lot, and I'm trying to get rid of, is I draw myself a lot into people, and that's because I see them. You see yourself in the mirror every day, and that would be kind of what you default draw. And so I'm doing this game. I'm right here. I'm playing with the different shapes, and I'm wondering what looks okay and what doesn't, and that's really subjective. It's really hard to approximate that. But to give you some idea of what I'm doing here, I'm just approximating these shapes, and when I put it down, I don't know if I hate it till I put it down. And that's the danger of doing it with pen, because especially a pen like this, because the other ballpoint pen, and I've talked about it with a ballpoint pen, you can kind of slightly shade it in. You can vaguely shade in forms when you're doing that. Excuse me. You can vaguely shade in forms when you're using a ballpoint pen. With this, once it goes down, it's pretty much down. You know, the line you put. So I'm being very careful. You can even tell I'm being more meticulous with this than I am a ballpoint pen. Trying to understand corners and shapes in the slight perspective, because he's turning to the side. There's a slight perspective on his neck, which I've kind of, and again, we're talking about tech. I get people ask me this all the time. What do you suggest if you're learning to draw robots or tech? And that was actually a question I had in the comments of an older video. But I mean, I got the comment like a week ago, but it's on a very old video. So I want to go over what is let's say you've never drawn a robot in your life. What is something you can do to maybe get a little bit better at that? And I said, you know, this weird answer. The answer is try drawing appliances around your house. Draw like your desk lamp. If you look at your desk lamp, I'm looking at my lamp right now. It almost has the joints on it almost look like robotic joints. There's a robot video. Go check that out as well, and I'll link it in the description. But like, look at your TV. Things that are non-organic. You know, your laptop, your video game system. Like, a lot of these are just straight up, you know, tech. They are these solid objects, and when you draw them, you hit it in one stroke. You know, obviously you can use a ruler, but if you're just drawing them, like sketching them, you're gonna have to hit that a lot of the angles in one stroke. Try to do that. And then you have more rounded forms, like I said, the fan. I'm looking around me right now. Let me see. I got some. No, that's organic. I got some animal replica skulls. You know, markers. I have an action figure or two over there, but that's kind of organic because it's trying to represent an organic form. The clock, that's a good one. You know, there's things all over. Like, look around your room right now. Just start drawing that stuff for practice, and you'd be shocked. You know, you don't want to make it look feathery or weird. You're gonna, like I said, try to hit that stuff in one stroke, and that'll help you practice. I'm not kidding. I do that to warm up. If I'm gonna draw robots, I definitely warm up on drawing just stuff around me. Back to him. I guess what was going through my head I could think of was a slight Power Ranger feel, but with more of a spacey helmet type thing. Going in, and I want a shadow to anchor it. That's more composition. I want that dark shadow to anchor the overall figure. Wow, the overall head, the bust, whatever you call it. And I'm throwing in these other directional forms around the neck here, and I'm throwing those on purpose to kind of offset just too many, I don't know. Everything was going up and down too much, so I wanted something to kind of lead your eye toward the head, like a collar like that. I'm going through my Snapchat right now. And okay, I'm throwing these lines underneath. Excuse me. I'm throwing these other lines in an effort to make it look more complex. Like there's technology underneath those plates. Like you can see into the little cracks. Like you've seen that with robots as well. You've seen that with things in real life too, with action figures. You can just see between kind of where they come together. And you're like, oh wow, you know there's a complexity underneath that. And that would be like what I'm trying to represent. Excuse me. I think the ellipse is off on the right side of the head there. I think I was trying to put like a screw or something. I think the ellipse is a little bit off. But not, it's good enough though. Continuing to go in. Oh man. Drinking some water, it tastes terrible. My hand's in the way. My hand's majorly in the way. Throwing in, like I said, same thing. There's just too many lines going the same direction, just to mix it up. Also, and I've talked about this before, I'm talking about areas of complexity and areas of simplicity. I'm trying to mix that up. The more complex stuff makes the simple stuff seem, I don't know, more relaxed somehow. Just kind of keeping with that theme. And I want to make it look like the plates are kind of going on, I don't know how to say that. I want to make it seem like you can kind of, maybe like a shutter, you can close and open. I want to make it look like they're moving parts to this thing. Going in. Pushing forward in these small shapes. So like I've said before, I'm starting large, like with the outer larger shapes, and I'm going into smaller and smaller shapes on purpose. I know a lot of the things I'm thinking about are, there's also the tech in the 80s, and I've said this before and I don't want to talk too much smack, but if you look at like tech in the 1980s, especially around like Marvel Comics and stuff, not to talk smack, but some of it was pretty bad. The tech was just complex all over. It looked like a rash or something. I never liked that. That's why I like kind of the way the tech is going now. Again, trying to figure out what I want to take apart, what I'm trying to push forward on. Like, do I want to make this more complex or less complex? And will it become so complex it'll just break the form? And that's, again, decision making. I've been working out at the gym at 11 p.m. and getting back at about 3 o'clock in the morning every night for a while now. It's starting to wear on me, though. It's starting to really tire me out. Even though, and I don't get enough sleep because I gotta wake up at a certain time, so, but I just do it because no one's at the gym, no one bothers me. I can just think to myself. I'm in the sauna a bunch. I can just think to myself as well, concentrate on what I need to do, meditate. I've been doing that for a while, so excuse me if I sound weird. I'm connecting that shape. I'm trying to connect these forms, and actually when I really look at it, there's two competing shapes here. The shapes on the side of the head, kind of the one I'm working on. Okay, well that fixes it a little bit. Okay, forget it. I was gonna say those two shapes are too similar in size, so I wanted to change those up. The eye really wants to draw repetitive forms, but it doesn't like looking at them. That's what's strange about it. Going in. I'm trying to pull these darks out as well because there's such a dark underneath. It's such a dark underneath that I want that to carry in and kind of like make it seem like it's part of the same design because there's just so much dark. And so I'm trying to I almost imagine the darkness as this kind of web that covers a big part of the figure, and it will kind of like, maybe not a web, maybe like a net that brings it together. Putting in another form right here, just trying to break it up. It was just looking too simple in certain areas. I was like, I gotta break that up. See, this is one of the cool things I love about designing these kind of things, is that I could do this again and it'll be completely different. You're making different decisions in the moment. Not always, right? Because I didn't pre-plan this, so I'm making decisions in the moment, and they're almost like these educated guesses, like this could work, oops, that doesn't work, or ooh, okay, that works pretty well. Or, you know, if you put down a line, it's not automatically wrong or right yet, because you haven't put down another line yet to kind of, if that makes sense. The future will be dictated right by, wait, I don't know what I was gonna say, but your line that you put down immediately is not really the value of it is not obvious until you put down the next line, because then you can kind of compare proportions. Throwing in that pattern at the top. I really need that complexity as well, again. I also like those shapes too. Kind of, you know, whatever you have in your design pattern, you know, design mind, that's a good one. I like that, those little rivets. Because I want that top of the head to match that neck. Hey guys, I'm going to give a quick shout out to my Instagram. Go check that out. There's a lot of drawings just like this. My Instagram is sketch_monster and then the number 1. So sketch_monster. I'm not even going to write it on the screen, nothing. Just verbally, if you heard that, go check that out. Sketch_, like the underscore symbol, monster, and then the number 1. A lot of stuff. I'm about to release a sketchbook. Well, I don't know how you call it. Like, let's say a sketchbook. It's a 24-page... Basically, it's 24 pages of a really small sketchbook that I've never posted anywhere. It's just something I'm working on for myself, and I'm going to sell it on Instagram pretty soon. I might announce it here too, but mostly it's going to be an Instagram thing. So check that out. It's going to be all stuff like this. Love this stuff. Going in here, still trying to figure out where the just again, like giving it that weight at the bottom. Imagine these shadows as kind of like an anchor, or like not an anchor. Like everything has weight. I don't know how to say it. If you're putting something on a scale, you want to balance that out, or at least bring it down. You want it to have a little bit of gravity. I haven't done a composition video yet because I feel like I don't know how to explain that. As you can tell, I don't think I can explain composition well. But I'm gonna try to see what I can do and learn it. You guys are gonna probably see me on camera a bunch soon, because I am gonna start filming a lot of myself very, very soon. I want to intro and outro a lot of these videos soon. I'm also, like I said, since I'm merging the channels, I'm probably gonna have a lot more, you know, wild things on this channel in terms of, you know, maybe different stuff, to be honest. More concept art type stuff. Maybe more digital, we'll see. Those little bolts, kind of like somebody screwed them in, some sort of factory made. That changes them from very spacey though to very technology. Like, how do you say that? It looks like someone made them in a kind of rustic environment as opposed to a lab where everything's like all iMac'd out. So now you can actually see the screws. It changes the look of it. Alright, I think that's the end of that one for now-ish. Almost-ish. We're going to move on to the next one pretty soon. The next one's shorter, so don't worry about it. Alright, going into the next shape, and I know the next one had horns in it. That's very much what I was thinking in my mind. I wanted something Viking-like, even though I heard Vikings in reality didn't wear horns. Can somebody double check that for me? I'm not sure. I heard historically there's no evidence that Vikings wore horns. So I don't know why everybody's putting horns on them. Thinking of a different face shape, I really want it to be different than the one next to it. That's something that was very important to me. I wanted the horns to be very... You ever seen that movie Labyrinth? Is that what it is? Labyrinth? I think it's called Labyrinth with Tom Cruise. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Labyrinth. No, not Labyrinth. Labyrinth is something else, man. Labyrinth is the one with the puppets. No, the movie's called Legend. So Legend with Tom Cruise. It's 1984. Legend. It was kind of like Lord of the Rings before Lord of the Rings. Kind of, but I think this movie bombed. I'm not sure. But Tim Curry played this devil. And that devil had like the craziest horns. Like, that design is so awesome. So sick. And it always affected me. But every time I make the horns too big on anything, it just feels like a ripoff of that. But obviously these horns aren't as out of control as those. But that image is so burned in my mind when I was a kid, and I got an action figure of that thing. That thing is amazing. Love that design. Go check that movie out, just that design. Legend. But anyways, I always, every time I do horns, it kind of, that thing goes through my head every time. I just always think of that design. See, the horns are a little bit asymmetrical there, I noticed, so I don't like that. No, not really. Actually, they do work, though. They're a little asymmetrical, though. I'm, like, critiquing myself here like crazy. I'm like, no, what is this? What is this? Putting in a plate across his face. Still playing with shapes. I still don't know what this is going to be. Like, I don't know what design this is going to be. Obviously, the parameters are a helmet. That's a great exercise for you guys to do, right? Build a parameter and then fool around within that parameter. Whether it be helmet, maybe some kind of, like, I don't know, glove. Something technical. Think in the tech idea. Maybe chest plate. Sweater. Sorry, I was like, all this cool stuff, and I'll go to sweater. Coming across. Also, I've been posting a lot. The last few weeks I've been posting like every day. Well, every weekday. I think I missed last Friday, but for the most part I've been posting a bunch. Do you guys like it? Let me know if you like it, guys. Say something. Or if you don't like it, let me know if you don't like it. You know, maybe I could just go back down to like once every 3 weeks or something, which is what I was doing before. Cool, putting in some darks, which I like. Yeah. Feels good. Feels good when I do that. I'm not kidding. Feels like accomplishment. Oof. Love it. That's the kind of satisfaction I get out of drawing. It's this kind of like, I don't know how to say, this OCD itch. You're like, yeah, yes, thumbs up. That's the satisfaction I get out of just doodling. Do you guys get that? Anybody else get that? I don't know. Maybe I'm alone on that. But if I'm not, please tell me. I'm asking like 20 questions on this thing. Sorry. So, looking into this and thinking of the rivets being pulled. Are they small, tiny rivets? Are they large? Is it going to be like, I don't know, like some sort of crouton cake thing? Well, it has little tiny rivets. I can't think. I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but in this current stage, if I was at this stage, I'd be like, how am I going to pull this around? Because I don't like it. I'd be like, how am I going to save this drawing? Alrighty. Putting in some stuff that's kind of different, you know, some shadow pattern right there in the horns. Following the form, and I'm breaking up the form as I'm thinking about the form in 3D, and that is such a big thing, right? That I've told you guys many a time. Thinking in 3D is one of the biggest things you can do in art. I mean, it is one of the biggest separators of people that are starting to people that are novice and up. You gotta think in 3D. You gotta think like a 3D program. You got a 3D program in your head. Remember that. I've said it a bunch. I think I have a whole video highlighting that fact, that tip. You know, it doesn't have to be that way, but I mean, I've seen people get way better just thinking that way. Like you think you have to physically grab this object. And you're like, oh, I don't know what it is, but then sometimes you start seeing these mistakes when you think like that. Let me... Trying to... So I saw the way that overlaps, that thin line. I was trying to even that out. Not even that out, but I was trying to make that make sense. You know, how are you gonna make the forms make sense? That's really something. I don't know if I'm just gonna leave this orb or not. I might. Every time I see an orb, I think of Mysterio from Spider-Man. The design he had, at least in the 1990s cartoon, Mysterio, and I think he kind of always has like a fishbowl head, right? I always think of that when I see an orb on someone's head, even though that design's been done a lot. I like those shapes a lot. Good job. Good job, man. Talking to myself. Good job. I really like it. Oh my gosh, there's a huge fly in here. Oh my god. I think it went by the... Can you guys hear it? Alright, kind of going down to the shoulder area, and I'm thinking, how am I going to ground this thing? How am I going to bring it down to earth? How is it going to fit on the paper? Because to me, a head without a neck and shoulders, it just feels like it's floating. Like, I mean, that works for human heads, human faces, but I don't like that for helmets for the most part. Unless the person's not wearing the helmet. I just kind of, like I said, I like this built-in sector of it. I really like this design. Wow. Good job, dude. Good job, me. Adding in things slowly. Yeah, just kind of think and slowly add on. Think and slowly add on. Try that yourself. And then I must have felt like I needed something for air. This one, another thing about these is these don't really have a story to them. Usually I imply a story to them and it'll really make sense in every which way. But this one I didn't imply a story. It was more just messing around with shapes, messing around with ideas, and just trying to like satisfy my own urge to just kind of doodle. It's pretty close to the end. I want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you sticking with me this long. I feel like I've been going back through older videos and it's like, wow, day and night in terms of like how I talk. Like I barely talk on these old videos. Now I'm just can't shut up on these new ones. And I really have this channel to thank for that. It was really, this channel is what did it, to be honest. Made me talk more. Or trying to verbalize what I'm thinking. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. See you soon. I do have a Patreon if you guys want to improve your drawings. If you guys are here this long, I hope you are. If you guys want to improve your drawings, go to my Patreon page. Please contribute. I make a bunch of videos. Check that out. Also, you know, check out the other videos on the page. And I'll see you soon. See you later, guys.